Hello, welcome to Calls with Your Kinky Bestie. I'm Emma. I am a submissive and mentor for fellow Kinksters. This podcast is all about insights into kinky life and dating, sharing my personal experience and stories, and help share mindset shifts too to get you into a confident space, more confident than you are now. So get ready, it all starts now. Okay, how to meet kinky people in real life. This is a very fun one. I'm really excited to chat about it. As someone whose kink journey started totally online, as I'm sure is the case for most people my generation, I have navigated a few ways to connect with kinky people in the real world, and I know this is a topic of interest. So I'm just going to lay out for you all of my secrets and my sometimes even sneaky ways to do it. Oh, excuse me. Great way to start the episode, right? Okay. So I have 4 big tips. 2 of them start with online spaces and then 2 start with physical spaces. So I'm going to kind of go half and half. I'll start with, an online and a physical tip. And then at the end of the episode, then we'll come back and share the other 2 around this too. Okay. So the first I have is the kind of almost obvious, but I have a backdoor way that I do it too, which is to, of course, use dating apps for meeting kinky people. Even if you're, so if you are actively dating, that is a great tool where people are going to be, especially if you're going to kinky dating apps specifically, people are going to be really upfront about the kinks that they're into. And it is super easy to just find them. Find those people who are interested in those things with you. And then obviously those people are going to be great, candidates for partnership too, if you are currently dating and looking for that. So that is a great way to start with people. But even if you are not actively, dating or wanting partnership or just whatever, there are a few dating apps that have specific friend finder options that you can actually use for kink. So the first one that comes to mind is that Bumble has a friendship mode, friendship connection mode. And it is totally cool to create just as long as you're following the rules of that app in those spaces. Maybe they'll have restrictions around not using illicit sex terms in your profile or having, profile photos with nudity or anything like that. But if you're following those rules, maybe it's mostly by creating a vanilla profile. But it is totally cool to have a blurb of your profile that says, also, I'm super into kink and BDSM, and I'm wanting to find people in my community that I can find friendship with who are interested in that too. So you can totally use it that way. Even if dating apps don't have friend finder functions, it might not be the most effective way to find friends, but you totally can set up your profiles to just be super clear about hey, I'm actually not looking to date. I'm just wanting friends in this type of community kind of way. So, but the biggest tip I'd give with that is if you're starting with a dating app, but your goal is to meet people in real life, actually meet people in real life. When you find people that you're interested in, make sure that you're transitioning to physical spaces and making plans to set things up and all that good stuff. Because otherwise you are just going to be, trapping yourself further into that online dating, texting a bunch of people space, which is not the space that you want to be in if you are on this episode wanting tips to meet kinky people in real life. My sneaky little tip with this too is has happened to me a couple times where I've met someone at a kinky dating app, thinking they might be a good prospective partner based on their profile, but then after we chat or meet, it doesn't end up to be a strong fit. But those people have been really great at then connecting me with local events in my community, resources in the area, showing me even online local groups, because we are coming out of the COVID era. So some of my the kink groups in my area that started by having regular in-person events switched to having Zoom events regularly instead that are very easy to hop on. And then from there, they have real life meetups too that you could join in on and all that kind of good stuff. So that is a really great way to do it. Again, just always be upfront about what your actual end goal and desires are. Obviously, don't lead someone along thinking that maybe communicating to them that you want to date them if you don't, if you're just actually wanting friends instead. Like, just be real about it if that's what you're doing. All right, so that's tip number one. Tip number two is to go to physical spaces where BDSM people go. So, examples of this could be like retail stores, like if there's like an adult toy store in your area, there might even be like themed ones for your different kinks. Actually going to those spaces and hanging out and meeting people, go to their websites. They might even be like sharing, community events that you could get in on. Those are a really great tool. The other one that is kind of funny is look up swing clubs in your area, like swingers clubs. They're also called lifestyle clubs commonly. Because they will often have like BDSM nights that you can like find on their social media or on their website and show up to those. And what's so great about that is it's very like you can go to a swing club under any circumstance. Like you can go to a swing club as a single person, as a coupled person. You just have to follow the rules of those spaces. So sometimes lifestyle clubs like limit how many single males can be, at an event every night or something like that. Which is like a super interesting other side thing. But as long as you're following the rules, that is a really great way to meet BDSM people. A lot of them will have like even systems in place where there's like maybe a wristband or like a colored cup system, where maybe you can even grab a cup that says like, I'm just here to make friends, or like, oh, I'm actually here to like really not make friends and to do other stuff with everybody. So there are ways to do it. Those are really fun spaces. And typically, obviously work within your comfort zone and learn about those specific spaces. But a lot of lifestyle clubs have like clothed areas where if you're just wanting to meet friends and hang out with people in that type of way, that is the place I'd recommend to go. Though, like if you want to have friends that you can be nude with, oh my God, go up to the nude floor with your I'm interested in friends cup, or just physically, like verbally tell people I'm just here to make friends, and see what you can find. Also, sometimes those lifestyle clubs will have like online like chat features too. So you could always like RSVP ahead for events, see who else is going to be there, maybe even start up a conversation with them beforehand too. So that it is even more like seamless whenever you do meet in real life. Also, see if there are BDSM clubs in your area, because those do exist. See if there are BDSM events in your area. You can find those on online spaces like FetLife. Sometimes there's like Facebook groups. Or like sometimes there are like really specific groups to your area too that you kind of have to find out, like either through a person or through like another online space. So see what you can find and actually go to those events. Munches are really great people to meet. Are a really great way to meet kinky people in real life, because you can also go in there with an agenda to date people or just meet friends. And they usually have like a communication system for that too. So those are just two tips. When we come back after this little break, we're going to talk about like some of those online spaces you can meet people, but also like my little sneaky secret for actually being a little magnet for kinky people wherever you go, that I do almost every day. And I meet the coolest people. It is amazing. So there's just going to be a short break, and then we'll come back and talk about that. See you then. Just a little break to share that if you are loving this podcast and my content, if I'm someone you could see yourself working with, but you're wanting more direct support for your specific situation, I do offer mentorship. It's personalized to you, private video or phone calls with me, so you can chat about your situation and figure out a solution that's going to work for you. You can visit my website. It is kinkybestie.com/mentorships to see what's available and to book in your spot on my calendar. It's kinky with a Y at the end and bestie with an IE at the end. The link will be in the show notes, so you can check it out there. Back to the show. All right, we're back and we're talking about more ways to meet kinky people in real life. Okay, so the other one I briefly mentioned about already, but haven't really dived into, is to find online spaces for kinky people. FetLife is an amazing one. It's kind of a weird environment. I'll just start there. But if you haven't used that tool yet and you are wanting to meet kinky people in real life, it is a really great resource for it because it's widely known enough that a lot of people are using it at a lot of different age ranges. And it's pretty popular for sharing and creating in-person events too. So if in-person is what you're looking for specifically, FetLife is a really effective way to do that. It has a search feature for like both online and in-person spaces. If you're wanting to meet people in person, I do recommend to put like your approximate location in. A lot of people will just put like a different continent if they're just like wanting to meet people online or like really protective of their identity. So that's a thing you can do. But if you want to meet people in real life, you could always, I recommend to like actually put your location on your profile. And maybe, you could always hide your face from your profile if that security element is a concern. But then just search for, events and people in your area. You can search by people and location. You can search by groups and location. So I'd start by looking for groups and like events in your area, see what you can find, show up to some events, follow all your little safety protocols that you set up for yourself, and just go and see who you meet and check it out. If you're able to like RSVP, I will say sometimes if you're a submissive and you RSVP to events, sometimes like some random dom will message you and be like, oh, if this is your first event, I can, go with you and be your guardian or whatever. So that might happen. Be on the lookout for it. If you don't want to do that, just don't do that. Or if that, would make you feel more comfortable, do your thing. You could always bring a vanilla friend to a group like an event like that too, if they are, willing to be that support person for you and stuff like that. So FetLife, start with the events section, and then you can even find groups in your area because there might be like a specific, BDSM like club in the area or community that you could find, and then follow their website or social media and find events that way. And then if you can't find like events or groups in your area, search by people. See who's got like big, busy, active profiles. See what groups they're in. You can always just start like a conversation with them, asking about what they know about in the community. Or just get together with them too and meet people. FetLife is really amenable to that. So try it out, see what you find, and see if you can find other online spaces too. So there might be Facebook groups, there might be Discord servers and all sorts of stuff. Like there's just so many online spaces for kinky people. So see what you find, have so much fun with that. And then the last tip I have for you is like my little secret that gets me a lot of success that I'm really excited to share. And it is putting yourself out there in real life, just with like little discreet or maybe not so discreet like signals. There's a long history of, past eras where when people are interested in like not socially acceptable or like, even illegal things like, gay people used to have to signal to each other to like, recognize each other in public, and stuff like that. So this is a long history of being effective for a reason, but it's also something that you can do as a kinky person. I don't know, like maybe there is a chart out there about like, if you wear a certain color bracelet or like a certain color scarf or purse that, everyone will know that you're interested in X, Y, and Z. I don't know if that exists or if that's followed. So I would maybe just do what I'm doing instead, which is using like kind of ballsy signals sometimes. So to give you a couple examples, I have a pair of earrings that literally look like Hitachi ones, like Hitachi vibrators. I wear them all the time, and it is so much fun because like everywhere I go, people are, coming up to me wanting to talk to me about them and thinking they're so funny. Depending on like the designs that you're picking too, like a lot of people, you would be surprised. Like a lot of people who are not kinky will just not get it at all. Like I wear these earrings that are literal Hitachi vibrator ones. And so many people every day do not recognize them as what they are. I work a retail job where like I'm interacting with the public and stuff. And so like some days I'll wear these earrings and I'll have like, 5 really elderly women compliment me on them, having no idea what they are. and like even like asking me what it is and stuff like that. So, a lot of these people that you don't want to know about your sex life kind of already live in the ignorance is bliss world anyways. So just see what silly things you can find. I also there are tons of different accessories you can do this with. Earrings are great. You might be able to find a little necklace with a little kinky message. A lot of people wear collars in public too. That's a great way to communicate what you're about. I know there's even like wearable sex toys now. Like there's that some necklace out there that is literally like a slim little vibrator that, unless you literally knew about this necklace, you would not know that it's a vibrator. But if you do, because you've seen it on social media, like you would notice that out in public. And like, if that's something you're interested in, like want to chat with someone about it. I have it's actually a little bolo tie. This sex toy company made them, and actually my boss got it for me. We got like matching ones she got one for me for my birthday, which is sweet. But it is a little like heart bolo tie that says squirt and literally has like a water squirting emoji that the sex toy company made. They don't make them anymore. They're like sold out and stuff. It was like a limited edition thing, but it is so fun. I wear that all the time, and like people are always coming up to me chatting about it. And it's super fun. You could also, of course, get a little t-shirt with sneaky messages and just like decide what level you're comfortable being out there, and like what you think like would or wouldn't be noticed by who you want to be noticed by, and it might be a little scary the first time you wear vibrator earrings somewhere. But I'm telling you, I meet the coolest people every day. I even like met someone today. Like I just went out to lunch, and the bartender who happened to be serving me like actually like worked at a sex toy shop and wanted to chat with me about it because of like my bolo tie that I was wearing. So you'd be surprised. That's a really great way to meet people. And if you see people in the wild wearing those things too, oh my gosh, go say hi. Just go meet people. Get yourself out there. It's so much fun. And this wasn't on my list. This actually just came to me now. But like, if you have the opportunity to work a type of job or like event where you need social skills and they'll teach them to you, I highly recommend to do that. I really had a ton of like social anxiety and just like, well, I guess more so like social awkwardness when I was younger. And then I started working retail jobs where they literally taught me like start to finish, like how to build connections with people and, even like, sell things to them. So like to be able to like persuade people and things like that. So that is like a really valuable life skill that obviously now I'm not using it in like the same way whenever I'm outside of work, but a lot of the things I am using the same way. And it's been like a really like life-changing experience for me as someone who really had a hard time like talking and interacting with people before that. So if you ever get the chance to do that, I highly recommend. Though I would maybe pick a job where like a lot of salesy kind of jobs now don't sales masters in retail and stuff don't actually require you to be social. Like if you actually go and shop those places, if most of the people aren't talking to you and like making fun connections with you, like maybe that's not the place to learn that. But if you're going to a place where everyone is super talkative and friendly and you instantly connect with people, go work there and learn how to do that yourself. It is really empowering to have that unique skill set, because a lot of social things, like you don't just know, you have to learn. So go learn them if you have a hard time interacting with people. Test out trying little signals. I'd love to know what kind of accessories people use. I have a friend who like wears a tote bag around that literally has it's like little boobies. And she gets people chatting with her about it all day. It's just so fun. It's a fun way to signal to the world like, hey, this is like kind of what I'm about. It's okay to talk to me about it because I'm wearing it in public. So if you want to meet kinky people in public, go meet kinky people in public by being a kinky person in public. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I hope these were really helpful. I'd love to hear, if anyone else has ideas that they use too. These are just some things that have worked for me, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me this episode. You can follow the podcast on the platform where you're listening to get updates with new episodes. You can follow me on social media at Kinky Bestie. I'm on Instagram. You can also check the show notes for any links or resources that I talked about in this episode, or just more ways to connect with me. And please share this with your kinky friends who could benefit from this type of content. There is also an option for each podcast episode to engage with Q&As or polls. So I'd love to hear from you and create future episodes around what you want to chime in with. So please check those out in the show notes too. And I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.